Good morning, I'm Emily Beckett, Digital Marketing Specialist at Sprague. Welcome to Sprague's Refined Products Review, where we share what's moving the market, giving you insight into what we're seeing every day. This weekend is International Women's Day, so for our March feature, we'll be doing a panel discussing growth opportunities and culture at Sprague. So thank you everyone for joining me today. Some of you have been a part of our RP review before, but we have some new faces here. So if we could introduce ourselves, we'll start with you, Barbara.
Sure. I am Barbara Arkwell. I am the head of HR here at Sprague. I've been here for just about 8 years.
And I'm Kristen Schweitzer. I am the Director of Wholesale Sales, and I've been here nearly 20 years.
And I'm Christine Sullivan. I'm a wholesale marketing rep in the Refined Products Group, and I've been here since 1997.
Hello, I'm Shenar Pashalich. I'm the VP of Business Development and Commercial Enablement here at Sprague, and I've been here for almost as long as Christine, 26 years.
And we'll start with you, Shanir. What originally drew you to the energy industry and what's kept you?
Well, so we have to remind ourselves that that was centuries ago. And what drew me to, it wasn't that I was drawn to energy industry, but I was drawn to Sprague after my first interview with them. Sprague was doing a MBA training program where they would go to area universities and interview newly graduates. And I was one of them. I was fortunate to go through 3 whole-day interviews, and I realized that how they were very much putting emphasis on teaching, educating, and growing the candidates into an energy professional. So that was very exciting for me. So even though I thought, I don't know anything about energy, what am I going to do in this company? It turned into, I really want this job. So that's how I started at Sprague. And then it turned out that energy industry is also very exciting. So it was a bonus situation.
What about you, Christine?
So the energy industry didn't necessarily draw me in. So again, 1997, I was 2 years out of college and having a quarter-life crisis. Someone suggested I go through a temp agency. They plopped me right into Sprague in the branded gasoline department, where I worked for about 3 weeks before they offered me a permanent job. And again, 28 years later, I'm still here. I've done lots of different roles.
That's great. I did find the energy industry attractive. I think that when I started, I had a little bit of a background brokering some energy products, refined products and crude oil, and it was very interesting to me to be on the supply side. So as a salesperson, when you're selling something, that thing being a commodity, that thing being necessary, felt really meaningful to me. And I still feel strongly in that way that we keep people warm, we keep people moving. I frankly think that it's, a backbone of our country. So I'm very proud to be in energy. It's not boring. I'm always learning something new. And I just think that when you dig in and do the work and you show up to solve problems and ask questions, the credibility follows.
Absolutely.
So I've found great success here.
Great. And you, Barbara?
I also was not drawn to the energy industry. If quizzed before I came here what exactly that means, I might have struggled with that. So I was maybe someone who had an oil delivery to my house or whatnot. But I came here because I worked with my predecessor at a prior company. And she had an opening after she had been here for about a year, and she reached out to me and said she had this opportunity. So I honestly came here because of that, because of her. And I was ready to make a move. I have stayed. I was very surprised at how interesting this industry is. And I know it probably just at the very way less, obviously, than you've been here for so much longer than I have, but also because I'm HR, so I'm a little bit removed from the process compared to you guys. But it's incredibly interesting. And I think that that's what's kept me here. It's always moving, always changing, always growing and so forth. And it is a lot of people who have a common goal. as far as the company is concerned, and who are very invested. And I think that's really important in an organization. So, and I always do feel like I'm able to make a contribution, and I appreciate that. So, yeah.
So Barbara, how have you seen Sprague values show up in your day-to-day work?
Given that I'm HR, I think the people aspect of our values, and with that, the integrity that goes along with the people that work at Sprague is important. We have a lot of people who work extremely hard at Sprague. We're a lean organization. We don't have a lot of extra. This has obviously been an incredibly difficult winter. So the people who come to work every day and who, as I always joke, are at risk of frostbite. But there's drivers in New York who are either working in extreme cold or extreme snow that you can't get around the streets, you can't make your deliveries, and so forth. There's people at the terminals who are also outside in the elements. They might be on a body of water where the weather is always more intense and so forth. And again, they just keep coming to work, and it's a 24-hour operation and so forth. So I just think that's super impressive, and that's definitely something that stands out to me. And again, being HR, that's a lot of what I see for sure.
That's a great answer. I think I would echo something similar in that I really see Sprague's values come through in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other. We really sell supply partnerships. We talk a lot about partnerships. And I think that we live up to that, right? If you were to ask our customers or observe our relationships with our customers, it encompasses the people, the integrity, the safety, the technology. We're always driving toward improvement.
Absolutely.
Usually when people enjoy working at a company, they say it's because of the other people. And clearly, after being here as long as I've been, it's about the people. HR, somehow they've done a fabulous job hiring great people over my time here.
Anytime I need to make any kind of difficult decision, my concern is, does it help our customers? Does it keep the employee morale up? Is it safe for them? Is it supporting Sprague's credibility and image? So if I keep all those in my mind when I'm trying to answer a question or make a decision, I always know that I'm going to make the right decision if I keep those objectives in mind. And I always try to teach my team the same way on how they should go about their day and how they should conduct themselves with our customers or with their own employees.
So what kind of support from your leaders, mentors, or colleagues has made the biggest difference in your career growth?
I was counseled patience, I think, earlier in my career, which was important. It was frustrating, but important. I think that when I started at Sprague, I would tell you I looked across the industry and did not necessarily see as many women in the sales role in this industry as I am excited to say that there are now. We have more saleswomen in the sales role. I began in just a market, in our Albany, New York market, one of our safest markets, side applause. And I think that the terminal manager at the time would tell the story himself that he has repeated to me, that upon first meeting me and being introduced, he had a big question mark. What are we doing here? My predecessor had been a male. It is undeniably a male-dominated industry, and wondered about our success. And again, I think that he would come in, having since retired, but I think he would come back today and tell you what a great move it was and how successful we have been since. And I'm really proud of that. And it was that trust and that support, and frankly, that's what I would say from all of my leadership, from all of my mentors. I had support. I knew they had my back. And I was trusted, again, over time, whether it was trusted with key accounts, trusted with leading negotiations, in deals with customers, and ultimately trusted to be a leader of a team. So I'm grateful for that trust because it forced my growth.
So I want to add on what Kristen was saying, that growth really happens outside of our comfort zone. And that's what I noticed, and we should raise our hands before we're 100% sure of what. Let's not wait for 100% because it's rarely there. So we need to raise our hand and show that we are eager to learn something new or do something different or get promoted or assist in a difficult project, because sometimes you're put in a role and then people don't think of you doing as something else. I initially learned from my managers, but then I continued to learn from my peers and from my colleagues and even from my employees after a while, because when you start being promoted to a certain level, you don't necessarily know everything to know about everybody in your team is doing. So everybody was very generous, teaching me and staying with me, and then believing in my capabilities and my lead by example attitude, can do attitude. And one of the things I always say is that I try never to say it's not my job. And I always want to take initiative and continue learning and continue helping others learn, and then help them develop themselves.
My path was a little bit shorter than yours, Kristen, but when I started at Sprague, I was not the head of HR, obviously, and I was able to, once my predecessor left, I was able to move into that role. HR in general varies as a function from organization to organization as it pertains to having a seat at the table, meaning are you tucked in a corner, you work for the CFO or whatnot, or are you actually able to be in a decision-making role? And I'm very fortunate that at Sprague, I've always felt like HR has a seat at the table, and it's not just me being the head of HR, it's my team as well. I feel like my team is respected. I've always felt that way. In addition to the executive leadership, the leaders throughout the company are great partners for my team and for me. If I'm trying to roll something out, I get great support through conversation, through communication, and so forth. So that is huge. I always feel like it's not a battle, that the role is respected and so forth. And that, again, is not always the case at every company. So I feel like that's important here.
So the energy industry is constantly evolving. How can a different array of perspectives help us navigate that change, and what is Sprague doing to support these efforts?
Yeah, so the energy industry, especially over the last 10 years, but very heavily last 5 years, have been going through a significant transformation from market volatility and to evolving customer expectations because of that volatility, but different products coming out there, and then obviously care for environment and all the other pressures on the traditional energy industry to change, to evolve, to offer products that are more helpful to our environment. And Sprague is, we're fortunate that with our ownership with Hartree, we are actually, with the help of the business development team, that exploring other energy source options. So we want to offer our customers whatever their energy needs are. It doesn't have to be heating oil, gasoline. It can be EV charging. It can be wind power. It can be electricity. And we've been exploring renewable natural gas options. So we are open to putting our time, effort, and money into these new technologies so we can offer it to our customers. And we will adapt, as Sprague has always adapted in the past, starting with whale oil, coal, and heating oil, and natural gas. And so, and we're willing to, and with our ownership, we're willing to keep evolving and then offer our customers what they need.
I don't have anything to add to that. That was great. I'm just going to leave it at that. Stop it.
Something I'm proud Sprague seems to have focused on, and maybe has driven more from your group and leadership, is about diversity, right? And whether that means hiring more women or hiring more youth, but trying to attract all perspectives into this industry, you know, knowing that those are the teams that make the best decisions. Yep. And have the biggest effect on change, and you know, will reflect innovation, growth, and change in itself. So I do think that change just doesn't happen in that we want to lead it. I think that we're a leader, and I hope we can remain a leader. And I'm excited at some of what I think is driving that growth and innovation here. Yep. At Sprague.
Great. Yeah, I would piggyback off of that. It absolutely is true, and it doesn't matter what you're talking about, but when you are in a period of change, having a wide array of perspectives is super important. There's no question that, people who are alike think alike, and if there's problems, things to plan, things to look forward to and so forth, the more diverse the offering of people, then the better off you are. And I do believe, in my opinion, that Sprague has, to your point, Kristen, I think Sprague, it is sometimes difficult to hire from that perspective and to promote from that perspective, because we're sometimes geographically limited. We're sometimes limited. We spoke before how the energy industry isn't necessarily the most attractive to women always, although I would contend if women realize that Sprague offers a flexible work environment and we have great benefits and so forth, I think that that's important, and also just how exciting the industry is. I think that would help toward the cause. But I think Sprague has come a long way in trying to improve that and so forth. And there's always work to be done. But in the 8 years I've been here, I have seen improvement. So absolutely.
So to close out our conversation, what would you say makes Sprague a good workplace for you and everyone?
Cliche answer, people.
Yeah.
And I think we're all going to say people because each one of us, location too, obviously. We're in beautiful Seacoast, New Hampshire, and we could all go work in Houston or New York and potentially compensated a lot more than what we do here. But it is the camaraderie, and then understanding that if you make a mistake, you're going to give it a second chance. And Sprague is also a very stable, credible company. So not worrying about if you're going to have a paycheck in 2 weeks or a week is I think, very important to a lot of people. And I never felt that. And it's well regarded and respected by our customers, by the communities that we're in, and I think for all the employees. So I feel very fortunate that I did get that interview 26 years ago and stuck with it, and hopefully I'm retiring from here. So.
I don't have much to add to that. I think I've been completely spoiled. Having only worked at Sprague my whole professional life. So it's always been a great place.
Yes.
I like to think that we have a lot of fun. It's very dynamic, it's interesting, it's hard work. And I think within our groups, I observe that you become your own little working families. And we try and have a lot of fun, right? I mean, because it's otherwise just work.
Right.
So I would say I have fun. I hope everyone has fun.
I do. Yes, definitely. And I would also, again, the people, to your point, that was going to be the answer. And beyond that, the fact that we work with different types of people, like there's so many salt of the earth people, there's people all over the place and so forth. So just the different types of people, but it's a great group. A lot of people who have been here for a long time and who are very dedicated, and that is very nice to see.
So yeah, going off of what you guys all shared, Sprague is actually my first full-time job out of college, which I feel like is rare to stick with that for so long. I'm going on year 5 here, which is incredible. And I know we spoke on this earlier in the conversation, that how important it is to be able to work with so many different groups within a company. And I feel like working in marketing, I absolutely get to do that. And it's so important to understand the product that you are marketing. So whether it's natural gas, refined products, solar, there's so many different aspects of the business. And I feel like I'm learning something new every single day. Every day is different. I think I actually said that in my interview, that my ideal workplace is something that is different every single day, and it has definitely stuck to that. And it's very exciting to be learning all the time, especially from people who have been here for a while and new faces as well. It keeps it very exciting. Well, I think we're about out of time here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in this discussion today.
Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
the opportunity.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us as well. We'll be back this Wednesday for another Refined Products review. Refine your insight.
Fuel
your success. We brought together a panel to discuss growth.
Do you want to shorten it to only 2 things?
That might be good.
Or how about like a panel of distinguished, amazing
Yes,
women
I
here
gotta
at
hype
Sprague?
everyone up. Gorgeous, love that.
When I started at Sprague, I was not the head of HR. My predecessor left, and I was able to move into that role, so which is fantastic.
I'm so sorry. Can you do that again and not put your you have your hand like right in front of your face?
Oh.
Actually, this is how I want to do it also.
If you want Emily to tee you up for it, that's fine too.
Emily, want to team me up?
Yeah, sure. And what about you, Christine?
What about me? What?
For sure.
Lots of editing there. Lots of editing on
It's
that
great
one.
though. You'll be so pleased how it comes out. Having done this for the weekly reviews that we
Okay.
do, I walk away sometimes and I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. And he makes it look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.